Back in 2016, I presented to you, the smartest audience on the internet, a video about a cute, funny, and very strange children's book, Oshiri Tantei, The Butt Detective. The story of a detective with a heart of gold and the face of Ben Affleck. It's hard to believe it was one whole lustrum ago. Back then, literally no one had heard of Oshiri Tantei. Well, at least not in the English-speaking world. Not to humble brag, but the video I made way back when was the first in the universe about the Butt Detective. Of course, back then there were only a handful of books available, and Oshiri Tantei hadn't even taken off yet in his home country of Japan. Over time, the profile of Oshiri Tantei grew. More books were released. Then came merchandise, then an animated TV show. As word spread that there was this funny little book in Japan about a talking butt that solved mysteries, more and more people came by to check out what it was all about. These days, my video is not the only one about the Butt Detective on the internet, but I don't think it aged terribly. I mean, at least I didn't flood the zone with crazy PlayStation 5 rumors, right? Over the years, people kept asking me to go back and revisit Oshiri Tantei, but I always thought it wasn't such a good idea. I mean, now that you know, just go buy one of the books or watch the TV show. What do you need me for? But I am finally going to give in and follow up on things, because I think the Butt Detective has now, or will very soon, reach its peak. In August 2021, the full-length movie, The Secret of Souffle Island, was released nationwide. This was followed by the home video game, The Detective from the Future, for the Nintendo Switch that November. You can go experience these for yourselves, but as always, I prefer to bring you something you really can't experience firsthand. And in all the hullabaloo of a full-fledged Oshiri Tantei TV game, I forgot that there were a series of games for iOS and Android released a long time ago, virtually ignored and buried under the tidal wave of newer, more exciting butt detective stuff. I even put these games in the original video, and I still forgot about them. Probably because I didn't actually review them back then, just mentioned them. But let's not focus on that. Let's just take a trip back in time and play some retro iOS games. I can't believe that's a thing. But hey, we do live in the future after all. Going all the way back to the beginning, back to the days of the very first Oshiri Tantei book, over 2 lustra ago, the book's publisher, Troll, released 4 games on iOS for free. However, you would need access to the Japanese App Store, a sad case of still struggling with region lock. Now, despite that grown adults seem to have an interest in the Butt Detective, because the whole concept is so strange, it is still a series of books for kids. And because of that, these games aren't very hard, but they are very fun. They're interactive novels that give the player a chance to solve the mystery that's afoot. All 4 games follow the same format. You touch the corner of the screen to flip the pages, and if you touch Oshiri Tantei's face, you unlock a special Easter egg. The first one is simply called Oshiri Tantei. Our hero gets a knock at the door from a koala bear girl, saying someone stole her cake. She takes you to the scene of the crime, her elementary school. Oshiri Tantei then interviews the eyewitnesses. One person says the culprit has a red nose. Another says he has a big tail. Another says he has dark circles around his eyes. Then it's time to choose one suspect from the police lineup. Now I think it's pretty easy to guess, but if you get it wrong, you can choose again. You also get chided by the girl for accusing friendly teachers and staff when you can't figure it out. Guess correctly and the perp runs away, so it's up to you to chase him down. Catch him by using your special powers to disable the bad guy and bring him to justice. Once hauled away by the boys in blue, our hero sits down for some celebratory cake. The end. Simple, I know, but very fun and also good for those learning Japanese at a very early level. I mean, we all started there, so I say go for it. The second one is called Oshiri Tantei and the Disappearing Santa. One day, Rudolph shows up at Oshiri Tantei's office asking for help. Our hero gives the red-nosed reindeer some cocoa to warm him up and calm him down. Rudolph presents a letter supposedly written by Santa, saying simply, "Don't come find me." Something sure does smell funny about this. They go to the North Pole to look for clues. At the warehouse sit hundreds of undelivered presents. All of the other reindeer bring out Santa's diary. Inside are some clues. The key words here are box, square, and red ribbon. Our hero deduces that, just maybe, finding a present of that type may solve the mystery. Then you get to choose one box to open. Choose the wrong answers, and you get a funny gag. Guess correctly, and you have to open the box the only way you know how. With Santa free, Oshiri Tante asks him why he put himself in a box. He says that many of the toys he made were broken and was ashamed that he couldn't fix them. The reindeer offer to help, thus saving the day. Then they all make some cookies and Santa takes off. The third game is Oshiri Tante and the Coveted Diamond. A wealthy dowager, Madame Pigeon, is the owner of the world's largest diamond. A group of master thieves called the Snakes announce that they plan to steal it tonight. The phone rings and Madame Pigeon is on the line, asking if Oshiri Tante can keep the diamond from being stolen. Our hero visits the Madame's mansion and inspects the site to see how he can secure the area. I don't know why they just don't move the diamond somewhere else. But before anyone can reach that logical conclusion, the lights go out, chaos ensues, and the diamond is gone. At the scene of the crime, the snakes are caught, but only one has the diamond. The wrong answers are clever, as the square snake coughs up a painting, and the triangle snake was stealing a clock. But of course you have infinite tries to get it right, and when you do, the snake strikes. Oshiri Tante is caught. The only way to escape is a massive blast of you-know-what. He coughs up the diamond, and it's returned to the rightful owner. To celebrate, Madame Pigeon holds a banquet for everyone. I guess rich people aren't so bad. And I know the three musicians in the corner just calls out for a Three Stooges parody, complete with a pie fight. But I don't think the target audience would get that. The fourth game is Oshiri Tante and the Stolen Bananas. This game begins with our hero on vacation at the beach. With the sun getting really strong, Oshiri Tante decides to go back to the hotel, get out of the sun, and try one of the island's world-famous bananas. However, an island local tells him that they have no bananas today. They were all stolen. A true detective never takes a break, so it's time to suit up and solve the case. He goes to the village, where the local people have kidnapped a monkey. His partners ran off with the bananas. He's guilty, but won't snitch. Oshiri Tante finds a note that provides a clue. Meet at the tree on top of the head, it says. Oshiri Tante looks at a map, and you must decide where to go. The wrong answers take you to an empty house and the beach, but no sign of the bad guys. Pick the tree above the turtle's head, and you'll see the thieves escaping. Our hero gets in a rowboat, but it's just not fast enough. But wait, this boat has a gas-powered engine. Just tap the screen and let her rip. The monkeys are nearly poisoned, and the prized bananas are returned. As a reward, Oshiri Tante finally gets to eat one, and they're just as good as advertised. These four games for the longest time were the only way to play the Butt Detective. But along with the Nintendo Switch game, one more free game for iOS and Android appeared in 2021. Since those early days of the first few books, the Butt Detective universe has expanded to include dozens of characters, and this game includes most of them, and also incorporates recent plot points, including the arch-nemesis of Oshiri Tante, the mysterious Kaito Yu. The game, like all Butt Detective games, is simple and kind of easy. I mean, they are kids games, you know. There are 3 modes you can play. The first one is story mode. One day, Captain Maltese calls up Oshiri Tante to let him know Kaito Yu is up to no good. stealing a rare artifact known as the Fairy's Tear. It's some kind of magnifying glass. In the first stage of the game, Oshiri Tante suspects that Kaito Yu is actually in the room and posing as someone else. Use the clues to determine who it is. Spoiler alert, it's Officer Permanent. The jig is up and Kaito Yu makes his getaway. Oshiri Tante takes off after him, which leads to Stage 2, wherein the player navigates a series of mazes in the hopes of catching up to Kaito Yu. The mazes aren't too tough, and the controls work pretty well, but watch out for trees. Do your best, and you're off to Stage 3. The police get close to Kaito Yu, but he prepares his escape in his hot air balloon. Oshiri Tante does his thing, forcing Kaito Yu to drop the Fairy's Tear. He does get away, however, to fight another day. The other two modes are extended versions of the game's in-story mode. The search mode offers the player the challenge of finding the person that meets the description on the screen. You have 60 seconds ticking down, and you have to guess as many people as you can in that time limit. Guess correctly, and move on. If you're ever incorrect, that character disappears, and you can choose again. At first, the game is really easy, but the challenge ramps up as more and more characters are added to the screen. I made it so far I couldn't see the character I was supposed to find because it got so cluttered. If you can get a score of 40, that's pretty good, and the game saves your rankings. The maze mode is a longer set of mazes with added challenges, such as more obstacles and a dark mode. Again, you get 60 seconds, so if you can clear 5, that's a pretty good score. But the movement is slow, and it does take time to navigate the mazes, even perfectly, so you won't be able to clear too many in such a short time. And that's the game! It's a nice update to the original 4. Who knows if any new games will come down the line in the future, but I'm sure we haven't seen the last of the Butt Detective. After all, a hero's job is never done.